Nothing matters. It's important that you know that. But what do I really mean when I say nothing matters? What I mean is that when things that you do not like happen, you shouldn't care. That's what I mean when I say nothing matters. That's what I want you to understand when I tell you that nothing matters. But I'm not saying that everything shouldn't matter to you. You see, you are having an experience in this world. The reason why you want to continue to have this experience is because you want to be happy. I mean, if you want to continue to have this experience, I know there are some people who don't want to continue to have this experience, but you want to continue to have this experience because you want to be happy. The reason why you do anything at all is because you want to be happy. Even when you do the things that you do not want to do, you are doing these things because you want to be happy. There are people who are working jobs that they do not like because they want to be happy. You see, they're working the jobs that they do not like because they know that they will get paid in the end and they're gonna be able to afford the things that they want. You see, so everything that you're doing in this world, you're actually doing it because you want to be happy. There isn't anything that you're doing because you want to feel miserable. So that shows us that happiness is the only thing that matters in this world. Happiness is the only thing that matters about life. You see, you want to be happy. You won't buy a PS5 because you want to feel miserable. You want to play a game because you want to feel happy. You don't want to feel miserable. You want to forget about your problems. You want to forget about your miseries. You see? You want to watch a movie because you want to feel happy. There's this movie that I want to watch. It's called The Book of Clarence. I do believe that I'm going to like that movie. I haven't watched it yet, but I watched the trailer, so I think I'm going to like it. And I heard that it was produced by Hove. I heard that it was produced by Jay. And Jay is very smart. He's very creative. So I do believe that it's going to be a movie that I enjoy. The reason why you do anything at all is because you want to be happy. You do not want to have an experience just to feel miserable. The reason why people who want to get married to the right people is because they do not want to feel miserable. It's not like people who want to get married just want to get married to anyone. People want to act like marriage is important. No, what is important to people is that they're married to the people that are going to make them happy. That's what they want. They want to be married to the people that will make them happy. You see, everyone in this world is chasing happiness. The reason why I do not want to get married is because I want to be happy. I know that if I get married, I'm going to be miserable, because I'm different. I do things differently. I like feeling free, and I want to be loved the right way and for the right things. And I can see, how things really work in this world. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think that I'll be satisfied. I don't think that marriage is going to work for me. You see, I know how women think now. I know what women are attracted to. I know what women expect in a relationship. I know what women expect in a marriage. So I'm like, nah, let me not complicate my life. I've already been through a lot. Let me not make things worse for myself. I should just keep everything simple. The reason why you would want to have an experience is because you want to be happy. So don't let anyone lie to you. There are people in this world who are telling people that happiness isn't the most important thing in life. What is the most important thing in life? What is the purpose of life? You hear people like Jordan Peterson saying the purpose of life is not happiness. Well, if that's not the purpose of life, what is the purpose of life then? Do you know why we are here? The reason why anyone would want to have any experience at all is because they want to be happy. The reason why these people will be having children is because they want to be happy. They're not having children because they're selfless and they want to raise a baby or what. Like, no. I mean, yeah, they want to raise a baby because they want to be happy. You see, it has nothing to do with people being selfless. It's crazy that people want other people to congratulate them for having, children. Like, well, you having children because you want to be happy. That is the truth. We should be congratulating your babies for, you know, being able to survive in this cruel world. The truth is, you are doing whatever you do because you want to be happy. There isn't anything that you do because you want to be miserable. You don't believe me? Try to think of anything that you do because you want to be miserable. Try to think of anything and tell me about it in the comments. I will show you that no, actually, you don't want to do it because you want to feel miserable. You actually want to do it because you want to feel happy. Even if you get so angry that you actually hate yourself, you're not hating yourself because you want to feel miserable. You're hating yourself because you want to feel happy. Don't you get it? It's all about happiness. We're here because we want to feel happy. But there are people who lie to you. Like, your happiness is not the most important thing in life. Happiness is not the most important thing in life. What is important is that you raise children. What is important is that you do things that are going to impact other people's lives in a positive way. What is important is that you try to live your life as best as you. Like, people are shallow, man. It's so sad. They don't realize that the reason why all these things that I've mentioned are actually important is because you want to be happy. You want to have children because you want to be happy. You want to impact people's lives in a positive way because you want to be happy. You want to live your life as best as you can because you want to be happy. You understand? You go to school because you want to be happy. You want to become educated one day so that you have the kind of job that you want, so that you'll be happy. You see? That's why I don't really like it when people say congratulations. Like, when I do something that I actually love doing, people say congratulations. Like, especially if I'm helping other people. Like, yo, I'm selfish. There isn't anything that I'm doing because I want to be miserable. No, everything that I'm doing it because I want to be happy. That's the thing. I'm doing whatever I do because I want to be happy. But here is a very important question that I'm going to ask you right now. Are you happy? Are you happy in this world? This is a very important question. And if you're not happy, why are you not happy? Is it your fault? Are you doing something wrong? Or there's something wrong with this world? That's something that's very important to understand. We must stop lying to ourselves. Lying to ourselves is not going to help us at all. We must be honest with ourselves. Are we happy? Do we feel satisfied when we look at what is going on in the world? Are we doing things that are helping us, or we are just slaves? Because you cannot be happy if you're a slave. If you are doing things because you're forced to do these things, you will not be happy because you're not doing what you want. You see? And there's nothing to gain in the end. Because if you're a slave, you're not going to gain anything in the end. You're just working to survive. You see? Slaves work to survive. They're not going to live lives that are going to be meaningful to them. You see? They're not living for themselves. They're living to benefit the masters. You see? The masters are the ones that actually benefit because they own slaves. Slaves are just doing what they're told to do. So slaves won't really be happy. It's the masters that will be happy because the masters will be getting what they want. They will be getting to have the experiences that they want. They'll be the ones that are making decisions. Slaves won't be able to make decisions. They'll just be slaves. They'll just do what pleases the masters. You see? That's what being a slave is all about. So my question to you is, are you happy? And if you are not happy, is it your fault? Or you are just in a world? Is it your fault that you're not happy? Or there are a lot of things that are happening that are wrong, and that is why you're not happy? There are a lot of things that are being done in this world that are wrong and that are making it impossible for you to be happy, that are making it impossible for anyone in your position to be happy, unless people want to lie to themselves. Because there are people in this world who will lie to themselves, say, oh, I am happy, blah 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 blah, because they know that happiness is important. So they'll lie to people. Happy, posting happy pictures on Facebook. Why I said generation with happy pictures. People are miserable. It's crazy how miserable people are. There's this other couple that I knew. I mean, they're no longer with us. The guy unalived his woman and unalived himself. When you check the social media, all their pictures, in their pictures they were always laughing. They were posting happy pictures always. And you'd wish, oh man, if my relationship was just like theirs. They were miserable. They were always fighting. But they know that happiness is attractive. They know that happiness is the most important thing in life. If people believe that you are happy, they're gonna wish to be like you. Listen, even if you had everything in the world, if you were miserable, people wouldn't want to be like you. You see? If you were miserable, people wouldn't be like you. But if you were happy, even if you had nothing and they felt like you were genuinely happy, they would want to be like you. That's why we are attracted to people who seem happy. The truth is, people are really miserable. They won't really tell you because no one cares. I was watching this movie called Past Lives yesterday, and there's something that one of the characters said. When she was young, she used to cry a lot. And a childhood friend, when they got older, asked her, do you still cry a lot? And she said, nope, because I realized that no one cares. It's like you can't really tell people that you're not doing well, you're not happy, you're not satisfied, because, well, no one cares. I mean, everyone is not satisfied, everyone is not happy, so why should they care if you're not happy? You see? Everyone is not happy. It's not like you're the only person who's not happy in this world. Everyone is not doing well. It's not like you're the only person who's not doing well in this world. So, of course, they're not gonna care. What you must realize is that we've been scammed. That's what you must realize. We've been made to neglect ourselves. Like, nah, it's not about happiness. Life is not about happiness. Like, no, it is about happiness. Any experience that you have is about happiness. If you're not happy, there's a serious problem. There is a very, very serious problem. If you're not happy, listen, that is a big deal. Happiness matters to the core, because you want to have any experience that you want to have because you want to be happy. If you chose to be here, these spiritual teachers are saying that you chose to be here, and I've explained to you why it is impossible for you to have chosen to be here. I gave you this example from the movie Severance. I think that's the best example, that will actually show you that no one actually chose to be here. Whether it'll sever someone's brain in the half, and when that person goes to work, they'll only remember what happens at work, and when they're at home, they'll only remember what happens at home. But the vision of them that actually chose for them to get their brain severed is a vision of them at home. So they do remember that, yes, they made that choice to get their brain split in half between their working life and their life at home. So as soon as they get to the building where they work, they forget everything that happens at home. So the vision of them at work is like a baby, because they don't remember anything. So like, why am I here? Why do I gotta work? You see, I want to go back home. And as soon as they get outside, they'll go back in. Be like, what? Because the vision of them at home would want them to go to work. But the vision of them at work would want to go home. Easy. Because they felt like they were being miserable. You see, as long as you do not have your memories of your previous lives, if you don't remember making a choice to be here, you didn't make that choice, because this vision of you did not make that choice. So you didn't choose to be here. You understand? Even if it's your higher self that chose for you to be here, it's not you. You gotta understand that. But listen, even if your higher self chose for you to be here, it chose for you to be here so that you will be happy. Think about it. If someone created the simulation and you chose to get your memories wiped off so that you will live in that simulation, what would be the reason? If they told you that, well, in that simulation you're going to be very miserable, you're going to be suffering 24/7, would you be like, oh yeah, I want to be in that simulation? Or you wouldn't want to be in that simulation because you don't want to feel miserable, you want to be happy, you see? You want to have any experience that you want to have because you want to feel happy. You don't want to have an experience that you want to have because you want to feel miserable. It's so sad that people are being lied to by people like Jordan Peterson. You don't see that guy has sold out. Like, he no longer represents truth. He's not a dumb guy. He's a very intelligent person. He knows the truth, But listen, there are a lot of things that are going on in this world that we do not even see. Things that we don't even get to see. So when you see an intelligent person like Jordan Peterson saying things that make zero sense, just know that they got him. Don't think, well, he just thinks different. No, he doesn't think different. He's a smart guy. A smart guy is supposed to be smart and say things that are actually smart. He's got to be able to see the truth. He's supposed to be able to see reality as it is instead of lying to himself. I remember Elon Musk posted on Twitter last year. He said, if a person wants to leave, I'm just paraphrasing, they should be allowed to leave. I was like, wow. He's smart. But if he said no one should be allowed to, you know that they got him. Because he's smart. He's not supposed to say stupid things. You can expect stupid things from people that you know are stupid. Jordan Peterson is not stupid. Trust me, Jordan is not stupid. That is why he cries when, people talk to him about antinatalism. He gets it. He knows that antinatalism. That's why he stopped making sense. You see, Jordan Peterson, when he's speaking the truth, it makes a lot of sense. If you're gonna say something ignorant and he responds, he's gonna say something very intelligent. But if you're gonna say something that he doesn't agree with, but that makes a lot of sense, he's gonna start crying or say things that don't make sense. But like, do you believe in God? What do you mean by God? What do you mean by believe? What do you mean by in? Nah, he didn't say that. I mean, he did say, what do you mean by God? What do you mean by believe? But he didn't say, what do you mean by in? But you're like, nah, why would they even ask that? It's a straightforward question. There's nothing complicated about that question. But he's trying to avoid answering that question honestly. You see? I do remember him saying that happiness is not the most important thing in life. And I think in that video, he was trying to disprove antinatalism. He was talking about David Bennett's book, Better to Have Never Been. I don't really remember the name of the book. I haven't read that book, but a lot of people have spoken about it. It's like, no, happiness is not important. Why do we assume that the most important thing in life is happiness? Why do we assume that happiness is the most important thing in life? Is because that's what we want. We want to feel happy. We don't want to feel miserable. So yes, it is the most important thing in life. You don't want to go to hell. People will believe that hell exists. Doesn't exist, but yeah. You don't want to go to hell. Why? Because you don't want to be miserable. There isn't a person in this world that's like, yo, I want to go to hell. I want to go and burn for eternity. I mean, Sometimes people will say that. I remember Big, Notorious B.I.G. said, "I want to go to hell because I want to be with the baddest women or whatever." But no one really wants to go to hell. He's just a rapper. We want to be happy in this world, man. We don't want to feel miserable. That's why we complain when things are not going our way. When things are not good, we complain. We want things to be good. We don't want to be stressing. We don't want to be depressed. We don't want to be anxious. That's why people leave this when they are not happy, right? People who genuinely want to be here are people who are not like miserable, because it wouldn't be right to assume that each and every person that's here is miserable, but many people who are here are very miserable. Yeah, but there are people whose lives are working. Like they're working the jobs that they like, married to the people that are making them happy. When I say that I don't want to get married, I'm not saying that marriage itself is bad. I'm saying I do not think that marriage will work for me personally because of the type of person that I am. But yes, marriage can work for you. I mean, not every person who's watching here, but I mean for some people, yeah. But it's brilliant to just try to be okay with being alone. That's what's best. You must be okay with being alone. Besides, marriage itself isn't something that's really natural anyway. But yeah, it's in our nature to want to try to be happy. Even when we were kids, when we weren't feeling happy, we would, cry. When we were feeling uncomfortable, we would cry. Just because we didn't want to feel uncomfortable. We didn't want to feel unhappy. We wanted to feel happy. We wanted to feel satisfied. That should tell you something. You see, don't allow other people to control you. Don't allow other people to tell you how to feel. Like, oh, well, life is a gift and you're supposed to feel this way. Look at that person. That person doesn't have a hand, but they are happy. Yeah. Don't allow people to lie to you. Don't allow people to manipulate you. All right? You are having your own experience. You are experiencing life from your perspective. You are the only person that knows what it's like to be you. If you are not happy, there's something wrong. People mustn't tell you that there's some people who are suffering more than you. Oh, there's some kids in Africa, they don't have food, so you're supposed to appreciate. Like, what the it's about you, man. Look at it that way. It's about you because you are having this experience for yourself at the end of the day. People mustn't tell you that, well, you are here for other people. No, you are here for yourself. All right? You are the one who needs to tell yourself what life means to you, what you want your life to be about, what you feel matters to you. Other people mustn't tell you that, what matters is that you try to make other people happy. What matters is that you try to make God happy. Which God? Your God? What matters is that you are happy. That's what matters. If you are not happy, what is really the problem? Is it because we are in a world that does not work? Or a lot of people are not doing the right things? Meaning that you can actually be happy, but you're not doing the right things that can actually make you happy. Is that possible? Some people would say, man, just buy a bike and maybe you'll be happy if you travel using a bike, you know. But like, what? That's what makes you happy. What makes you think that's what's gonna make me happy? Some people would say, well, just try to do something when you wake up. Just try to, clean the yard, do this and that, keep yourself occupied, maybe. But like, well, that's what makes you happy. Some people will say, well, try to be around people, try to be around other people, try to talk to other people. That's what's gonna, like, no, that's what makes you happy. Some people actually feel much better when they're alone. Some people will say, well, try to find a job that you like. Maybe, like, no, we are different. We shouldn't force other people to feel the way that we feel about certain things, because we are different. And you shouldn't allow anyone to force you to feel the way that they feel about something. The truth is this: no one should be forced to feel how another person wants them to feel. No one should emotionally blackmail you. Oh, you should be happy. I thought you'd be happy if I do this for you. I thought you'd be happy if you achieve this, blah, blah, blah. Like, listen, a person cannot be told to be happy. I want you to get that. You cannot tell someone to be happy, and you cannot make someone realize that they should be happy, and then they'll become happy. If a person is not happy, they're not happy, and it's not their fault. All right? That's what you must understand. If you're not happy, it is not your fault. Because things are not working out right in this world. Things are not being done right in this world. See, you do not live in a world where people are doing what they really want to do. You live in a world where people are being controlled, where people are being told what to think, where people are being emotionally blackmailed. I mean, if you grew up in Africa, you grew up being told that you must do things to please God, and God really is the people that are like controlling the world. It's not even like the real God, like that created the universe, anything like that. Remember, the Bible was written by people, and there's a fact that cannot be disputed. Stop lying to yourself, saying that, oh, God inspired it. But no, he didn't. If he inspired the Bible, he would have a way of telling you that he inspired the Bible. He would have a way of telling you, stop, listen, man, you're gonna die one day and meet God and talk to him. Be like, oh, I praise you, blah blah. It was, be like, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. So you allow people to manipulate you. Why do you think that I didn't communicate with you? You gotta think for yourself, man. Listen, if the Bible was true, there will be a way for us to know without these people trying to convince us and trying to emotionally blackmail us. Oh, hell this, hell that. There's this other YouTube channel that I discovered yesterday. I actually want to react to some of these videos uploaded on the channel. This person find videos of celebrities saying something about God, something negative, and then find a video of something bad happening to them. I remember Conor McGregor said something like, oh, if Jesus won a fight, I'll fight him, blah, 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 blah. And then he said that long time ago. I think he said that even before he fought Mayweather, even before he fought Eddie Alvarez for the UFC title, and he won, actually. And then he fought Dustin Poirier years later, and he lost and injured his leg. Now he's good. He injured his leg. The other guy was like, yeah, it's because he mocked God. You're like, what? Dude, we live in a world where tragic things happen to people. Doesn't matter what you believe. You can be a true Christian and tragic things can happen to you. So should we say, "Oh, that's because you believe in Christianity," or just because you said this, that's because you said this, or that's because you said that about the devil? You see, there's something wrong. I was very disappointed when I watched that video. I was like, I'm not a human, bro. I'm not a human anymore. Like seriously, I'm something else, because you can't say me and the person that's making that video and the people who are watching that video and we're thinking that that makes sense are the same. We're not. I'm not human. Like you can't. I mean, I might look like I'm like really human. I'm just like those people. Like no, don't compare me to those people. That's insulting. You're not here to please any God. Which God? You know God. They will just tell you that, well, you're here to please God because they want to control you. They want you to please them because they are God. Remember, if you continue to believe in your gods, they're the ones that benefit. It's the people that are at the top that will benefit if you continue to praise God. Because you're not really praising God, you're praising them. They benefit. It's just that you do not see that they are benefiting. You remain ignorant and they benefit a lot from your ignorance. From your ignorance. It'll make you believe that they are evil and something's gonna happen to them in the afterlife and you're gonna be fine. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna be hard for a person who's rich to make it to heaven, blah blah. Like, no, they're cool. They won't be cool forever, right? And this world, it's not like lions are gonna go to hell because they run thing. They run. They are very powerful in the jungle. No. Don't let people lie to you. Don't let people manipulate you, man. If you're not happy, it means that something is wrong. Something isn't right. Because you should be happy if you are having this experience, so that you will be happy. You see, even though you didn't choose to be here, but you are here and you are having an experience, so you want to be miserable. Is that what it's about? That you must be a slave and be miserable? You mustn't live for yourself. You must live for life itself. Like, you must just do what you've been programmed to do by nature and be a slave. And really, if that's what it was about, you wouldn't be conscious. You wouldn't even know that you're suffering. You just be a slave. You know what I mean? But no, you're conscious. You know when you are suffering. You know when something that you do not want to see happening is happening. And you are intelligent enough. I believe that if you're still watching this video, you are intelligent enough to know what you deserve, to know what you want, what you prefer, to know what is right for you. But if you do live in a world where you're not really given a choice. When you were a baby, they sent you to school, right? They sent you to school. And you were force fed information that you didn't really, want. I mean, some of you might have wanted to be fed that information, but a lot of people didn't really want to be fed that information. You didn't really have a choice. It's not like your parents ask you, okay, listen, you are in this world. Here's what's up. You can choose to pursue this. You can choose to pursue that. You can choose to pursue that. You have options. No. They didn't give you a choice. They just sent you to school. Your teachers put you in a classroom and started teaching you things. So you were force-fed information. You see? It didn't matter how that information was going to make you feel. It didn't matter how you are as a person. It didn't matter what you want. You see, it didn't matter. You were just force-fed information. And you had to grow up being fed that information. Since you were like 5, they were feeding you information, information, information. You had to ask for permission to go and pee. You had to eat during recess. You had to go home around 2 o'clock. And you say, well, I feel tired, I want to go home. Be like, nah. Don't you see there's something wrong with that? You weren't free. Why were you being trained like that? Why weren't you at school because you wanted to be at school? I remember my first day at school. I did it. The first day when I was supposed to go to school, I didn't want to go to school. My mom woke me up. She was like, "You going to school?" I was like, "Nope." She tried to beat me. Like, "No, you going to school?" I was like, "I ain't going to no school, man. I'm good. I want to chill at home with you." And then she called this other guy. He was a neighbor. He was much older than me. So yeah, he's the one that took me to school. He was beating me, but I didn't want to go to school. See, a child, this is something that a lot of people do not realize. A child actually knows what they want. I want you to get that. They know. Because they haven't been brainwashed yet, you see. Once you get brainwashed, you're not even going to know who you are. You know what I mean? You're not going to know what you're interested in. You're not going to know what makes sense to you because you have been brainwashed. But if you haven't been brainwashed, then you will know who you are, what you want, what you are interested in, what makes the most sense to you, what's going to make you happy, which is really important. Happiness is the only thing that is important. You know that. But now, you see, when you are in a classroom, you're literally forced to do things. You're literally forced to do things. It's not like you are free. They'll force you to keep quiet. They'll force you to write a test. They'll force you to write a classwork. They'll force you to work with other kids. They'll force you to pass. When I was young, they'll beat us if we fail. If we fail a test, they'll really beat us. Like, they'll punish us for real. It's not like they'll just be like, pew, pew. No, they'll beat you for real. You'd cry. So we're forced to do everything. And we all knew deep down that that's not what we wanted. We didn't want to be locked in a classroom and be force-fed, information that we didn't even care about. We knew what we cared about. So how are we supposed to be happy if we have been brainwashed since we're little? If we've been slaves since we're little? We never lived like kings. We were never free. We never lived like kings. We were force-fed information because our parents have been brainwashed, and they believe that it is okay for children to be force-fed information so that they will have jobs in the end, as if that's what's meaningful about life, as if that's what's supposed to make people happy. But there are a lot of people who have jobs who are very miserable, who are more miserable than people who do not have jobs. So you see, something is wrong. How are you supposed to be happy? Think about it. How are you supposed to be happy in a world like this? How? How? How are slaves supposed to be happy? If everything that they're doing is for their masters, it's not for them. They're not the ones that directly benefit from the things that they're doing. They're just given what's gonna make them survive. It's just, it's like because they're needed. It's not like you are rewarded because, well, you're free. It's because you need it. You're supposed to work. So like, well, you're working, so we still need you. You're productive. We'll still need you next month. So we gotta give you something so that you'll be able to, feed yourself, so that you'll be healthy. You see, so that you'll continue to work for us. That's what we need you for. It's not like we care about you. We just want you here because you're productive. If you stop being productive, you're out. We don't care if you have a family. We don't care if you become sick. If you're no longer productive, you're out. You are unhappy, not because you're doing something wrong. I mean, yeah, you're being forced to do, you know, things that you don't want to do. But I mean, what choice do you have? What choice do you really have? You have to understand that your parents were slaves, your grandparents were slaves, your ancestors were slaves. So, how do you beat the system? How do you become free? You live in a world where slavery is normalized, you see? Where if you say, nah, man, I want to be free, people look at you like you're crazy. Like, what? This is how we've always lived. This has been okay. You see the problem. If you say, I want to be free, I want to live my own life, I want to do my own things, they'll be like, no. They can't be allowed to be free. So they've been programmed to want everyone to be like everyone. You are supposed to be part of the hive mind. Otherwise, you're going to have serious problems. You see, once they single you out and be like, he's not one of us, you're going to have serious problems. You'll see how cruel people can be once they single you out. You're not supposed to be an individual. You're supposed to be part of this entity called society. Because if you are alone, you have no one to protect you because you are alone. You see? That is why many people want to fit in. They want to fit in because, well, what can they do? It seems like that's the only way to live life. We've got to fit in and do what everyone in society is doing. But if you try to fit in and do the things that everyone is doing, not the things that you want to be doing, how are you going to be happy? How are you going to be satisfied? How are you going to enjoy this experience? How? It is not possible to truly be happy if you are not doing the things that you want to do. And it's gotten to a point where all the things that actually make us happy are expensive. To go to a park where there's people and play with them, that's expensive. To go to a tavern where there's alcohol and just dance with them, that's expensive. Being in a relationship as a guy, that's expensive. Everything is for sale now. And because of that, you have to go and work a job that you do not like to have the things that you want. You see? You see that you were never the problem. There was just nothing that you can do. There was just something wrong. People wake up and feel empty and wonder what went wrong. They used to be happy when they were little kids. Be like, yo, I used to be happy when I was young. I used to enjoy this experience when I was young. Well, when you were young, you focused more on what made you happy. When you were young, you focused more on what made you happy. Yes, you were forced to go to school. Yes, you were force-fed information, but you still wanted to do things that actually make you happy. You'd wake up thinking, well, this is what I want to do. So, okay, let me do what they want me to do because, well, I'm not really that free. So I'm going to do what they want me to do and then do what I want to do. Then do what makes me happy. But now, what do you do that actually makes you happy? That's not really expensive to do. What do you do? Adults don't have like activities that they take part in that actually makes them happy, that don't require money. And you know because of how we grew up, because of how we were made to compete with one another, there isn't love. You see, people are still competing with one another. So even when they're together, there's no love. There's no peace. So you can see this is not working. This is only working for the higher ups, not for ordinary people living ordinary lives. It wouldn't work for them. And because people are so used to not feeling happy, they now believe that happiness is not important. Happiness is not important. No. You've always known that happiness is important. You've always known that you wanted to feel happy. You didn't want to feel miserable. So if you feel miserable, something is wrong. If you are in prison and feeling horrible, it means that something is wrong, because that's what happens when you're in prison. They make you feel miserable so that you will stop committing crime. Slavery existed in the past, right? Just that fact alone should make you realize that that's possible. And there were some slaves who didn't feel like they were slaves. But they were slaves and they were suffering. They just felt like that was normal. Because isn't it possible that you're a slave but you feel like that is normal? But because as a human you want to be happy, and you are only going to be happy if you are doing the things that you want to be doing, you're not happy. You're a slave and you're not happy because you're not doing the things that you actually want to be doing. So funny when people are told that they are unhappy because they are doing things wrong. You'll never be happy until you find Jesus. The truth is, some people just believe that they are happy because they don't know what real happiness feels like. See, if you've never really experienced something, you won't really know what it's like. I remember there was this other girl that used to tell me that she's never experienced and let me put it this way, like, she'll tell me that she has experienced orgasm before, like she has orgasm, blah blah blah. But then she got to experience a real orgasm and she was like, whoa. That's how it feels like. I used to think that I know what it feels like until I really experienced it, and I realized that what I was experiencing was nothing compared to what real orgasm feels like. So some people have never really been happy. So just think, well, they are happy because the people who are telling them that they are happy, they believe everything that some people say. But look at your life, look at what you have. You are married, you have a job, you found Jesus, you're going to heaven when you die. So that means that you are happy. And then they kind of believe that, but they're not happy. So when bad things happen, they just brush it off, like, nah, you know, it's just the devil, blah blah blah. I'm happy, I'm okay. And when they feel miserable, they start to believe that something is just wrong with them, or they're being attacked by the devil. When they start to feel anxious, like, oh no, it's attacks from the devil, it's attacks from the enemy. I'm okay. I shouldn't be feeling this way. You see the problem? That is why I'm telling you that we've been programmed since we're young to be okay with being slaves. You see, we've been programmed since we're young to be okay with being slaves. That is why we justify our own enslavement. The most important thing in life is happiness, bro. Don't let anyone lie to you. The most important thing in life is happiness. That is why when you try to have an experience, you're trying to have that experience because you want to be happy. And this is an experience. So you cannot tell me that you are trying to have this experience so that you feel miserable. Even when you try to learn something, it's like everything, you know, the things that we try to learn in this world, like that we genuinely want to learn. The process itself is fun. The process itself makes us happy. You see, you feel excited because you're trying to learn something that you actually want to learn. That's something that's very important to get. If you find yourself learning things that you don't want to learn, know that you're a slave, because why are you learning these things for? If it's about learning, then if life itself is about learning, then you'll be learning things that you actually want to learn, and you'll be happy learning these things. You won't be miserable learning these things. So if you are miserable, it means that there is a serious problem. It means that you're not learning the things that you're learning for yourself. You see, when you were a kid, the reason why you'd feel miserable at school is because you weren't learning things that you were learning for yourself. You were learning these things so that you will be controlled by other people, you know, so that you'll be useful to other people. see the problem. It was never about you. So how do you get to feel happy if you're not doing things for yourself? You're doing things that you're obligated to do, or things that you feel obligated to do, other than choosing to do, or being able to choose to do the things that you want to do. Things that are fulfilling to you. Can you imagine how it really feels like to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning when it's still cold, when you're really enjoying your sleep? We realize that you feel good, you feel better around 4 a.m. in the morning when you're sleeping. Like that's when you're really enjoying your sleep, bro. Like that's when you really feel good. Like, damn, man, I'm really enjoying this. And then you have to wake up because you gotta go to work, and you do not even love your job. You see what's messed up about it? Sure. You see what's messed up about it? So you wake up at 4 a.m. and you have to go and work a job that you do not even like. With people that don't like you and that you do not like. You see, there ain't that many people that you like in this world. I mean, that doesn't mean that you hate people like that, but there ain't that many people that you like, people that you get along well with. You see, that's why you're not friends with everyone. That's because there are few people that you get along with. So can you imagine what it's like to be forced to get along with people that you don't get along with? You have to work with these people. You have to work with these people from morning until afternoon. You see, that's the reason why a lot of people are not feeling good, bro. They have to do things that are not good for their mental health, you see. So we must be honest with ourselves about what is going on in the world. We must also be honest with ourselves about how we're supposed to feel about the things that are going on in the world. Because sometimes we are feeling exactly how we need to be feeling about the things that are going on in the world, but because of how we've been programmed, we believe that we're not supposed to feel the way that we're feeling about the things that are going on in the world. We tell ourselves that, nah, man, I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling because there's something wrong with me. Because other people are not feeling the way that I'm feeling. And we are told that if a person feels this way, it means that there's something wrong with them. So, yeah, that means that there's something wrong with me. That's why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. There will be something wrong with you if you weren't feeling like there's something wrong if there is something wrong, you see. If there was something wrong and you didn't feel like there was something wrong, that will mean that there's something wrong with you. But if there's something wrong for real and you are feeling like there's something wrong, then there's nothing wrong with you. You are feeling exactly how you need to be feeling. It's just that a lot of things were imposed on you. You see, you don't live in a world where you are like really free, where you are free to really be yourself and to just pursue your dreams. You know, That is not normal in our world. That is actually considered wrong. So your parents used to tell you that don't chase your dream, go to school first, try to find a job, and so you can chase your dream. Like what? That doesn't make any sense. You should only have children if they will be able to do exactly what they want to do. Thank you all guys.